Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a nice little Craftsman push mower that Dad and I were driving along and we saw two riding mowers and this push mower sitting by the side of the road. They all three had free signs on them. If we'd had our trailer down, we would have brought home those two riding mowers as well, but we didn't have it. We went ahead and let somebody else take that opportunity, but we did bring the push mower home. So it's just a little Briggs powered 4.5 horse Craftsman 22-inch push mower there. So just a side discharge, very simple unit. I have no idea what's all wrong with this unit. It looks to be complete. You got the kill switch handle, that cable mechanism, that all seems to be good. I don't know if it's locked up. You got the pull cord up there. Don't know if it's locked up. I do know this here carburetor is all very loose there. I don't like that, but I should be able to find bolts for that and be able to get that all buttoned up. Don't know if it has a blade. I really haven't looked at this unit at all, but I thought I'd take you guys on the journey of getting this mower running again. Before we crank it over, I'm going to check the oil and we'll see if it has any oil in it at all. We'll also see if it has gas, but I just want to make sure she cranks over fine and is not locked up. I'm pulling the dipstick out here, and we appear to have some oil in it right there, as you'll see. Right on the full mark, that's perfect. So, and it looks to be fairly clean. Let's see about seeing if it cranks over at all. We're going to pull this down. Okay, a little bit tighter on the tighter side, but that's okay. And we're just going to see if she pulls. Okay, so that feels about right. I don't think that's a concern at all. I mean, it's not locked up for sure. And seems to have decent compression, all that. Now we'll investigate on the fuel tank here. Let's just pop it open for you right now. Oh man, that is loose. Okay, I can't really tell in there. There's a little dribble of gas in there, but we do have that bolt there. That's good. I was worried about that one. And this front one here, we're missing that one. I reckon that is why it's loose. I think I can get that buttoned up and we will theoretically be able to try it out. So I looked over the engine a little bit more and sure enough it's just that bolt being loose. It looks like they may have tried to take off the carburetor, so there may be an issue with it. It could honestly just be the diaphragm is messed up, but we're just down to one bolt here. I'm going to go ahead and take this off and then we will investigate more of what's going on. Stand by. We're going to need to work with the linkage a little bit more, get that filter off, and then we'll have a better idea of what's going on. So we got the filter off. The blow-by tube or crankcase vent tube, it's disconnected there, but that's kind of because everything was flopping around. But we have a Z-bend there, and then I just need to take that spring off. Probably going to do it here, I guess. I'm not sure, but we'll do that, and I just want to take it off and make sure everything's good to go. Drain the gas out of the tank, then we'll slap it all back on there and with the new bolt in the front, and we should be able to try it out. So I have the carburetor here up on the bench. We're going to drain the gas out of it. Looking in that part of the carburetor there, there's a little crud in there. I mean, just stuff that it's fallen in, I think. I'm going to see if we have a bolt to put in there and make it back to factory again. Alright, we've got the carburetor cleaned out. Any of the junk that was in there, that's nice, clean as a whistle. Fuel tank's also cleaned out. This definitely had some water in it, so I'm glad I went ahead and cleaned all the old gas out, and we'll put some fresh gas in. Found a bolt that will work great and be the original style for what the mower should have. We got the spring put back on, and now we're ready to slap this on the machine and try and fire it up. We got the carburetor here, carburetor and fuel tank. We're going to come in. I'm going to need a second hand to get that one linkage on there, but we got the linkage on. That spring is a slight issue when you're putting that all back in, but it'll be fine. I had to take that off because he was in the way too, but we'll get him back on here. I got to take this little screw out I put in. Alright, now we can pop that in place like so. That's so much better already. My bolt is right here. Shove that in, get him going. Okay, get him started. sufficiently started, I would say. Let's get the rubber hose piece on there. Normally you would leave these on and just be able to slap it on later, but that's better. We'll get the front bolt in place here. Okay, we got them threaded in there. Now I need to tighten that stuff up, but first I need to get this little spring back on here. There we go, that's on. We have throttle now, spring's working now. So we're going to tighten that all back up. See, isn't that so much better? That's why you have two bolts holding it instead of just one. But we'll get that all tightened up. I'm going to try to start it without the air filter because this one is, well, dirty. I'm just going to put a new one in there. It's not worth saving that one. So, I checked the blade before. Let's look at that now. He's slightly crusty. Doesn't have much of a cutting edge anymore, but he's there, so that, at least that's a benefit. We're really close to trying to get this thing started. We've got gas in there now. So we got a third tank is plenty for what I'm doing here. Let's see that if it primes. So that's a good sound. Almost there. It's taking a while for the rubber to come back. Not quite yet. Oh, I think we're getting some. That's a really good sign. I love these Pulsa Prime engines. I mean, they are just, they're so simple, and then they're so easy to work on. Anyway, we're going to get that outside. Again, I checked the oil before. It's all good to go. Alright, I feel fine about it, so we're going to take her outside and try to crank her up. We're going to try and prime it a little bit. I'm only going to give it 2 squirts because we already primed it a little bit just there before. The oil was good to go, so I'm going to pull it and we'll see what it does. Okay, so it ran on the primed fuel, but it didn't want to keep going. We'll try that again. I'm going to give it 3 this time. That's a good sign. I need to adjust the throttle setting a little bit and get it a little bit higher RPM. It seems to run pretty well. I don't know why they were getting rid of this. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the filter housing, get a new filter and that, and we'll get that put on. Here we have the filter housing off of that mower. The filter is obviously dark. Again, these are they're from the factory yellow. Sometimes they deteriorate kind of bad, and I think this is done that a little bit, but that's generally on the older ones. You'll see because they're so old they fall apart. But we have the new one here, so we'll get that installed after we get the housing all cleaned up and taken apart. So here we go. And there we have it. Here's the finished product. So it's all nice and clean now. Got the new filter in there. Now we can put it on the mower. So that's popped on there. It's just that one screw that goes in the bottom. Anyway, mower's all back together now. We're going to take it out, start it up again. We've got air filter, so I'm not worried about that. Again, the oil was good. So now we're going to try and run it, and we'll see what it does. We're going to go ahead and try and start this up again. I'm going to prime it twice. This is my engine runner. running really well. I'm going to try and adjust the throttle somehow. That seems pretty good to me. I think we're all good to go. Here we've got the blade. That's a little rough. This is what we're looking at here. We've got, the cutting edge. We've got a lot of nicks in it. Cutting edge needs to look more like that than like this. So we're going to try and recreate that on both sides. Okay, we're going to see about getting this, try and level it out here. Check the balance of the blade. And that seems pretty good to me. Nice clean edge, both sides. Ready to slice some grass in the spring. So here we have the finished off mower. I have the oil changed, I have the blade sharpened as you saw. I went ahead and power washed it yesterday as well, so we got all the grease off of it. Take a look at the blade. So it's nice and sharp now. All good to go. A little rust on the cutting edge where it got wet, but it'll be fine. So there she is, just a nice little mower that we got running again, brought back to life. Hey, thanks for watching, guys, and just keep an eye out for more videos like this, talking about mowers and tractors and just things I like to do.